What are you doing, you knucklehead?
What is up, Stormy? How are you this morning?
You're not feeling the video right now.
Not at all, brother.
So I'm on my way to the coin shop. It's been a while since I've done a couple recordings in the coin shop with Steve. I'm actually not going to be getting him Dunkin' Donuts today. He's actually trying to cut back. So no more Dunkin' Donut drive-through shenanigans for now. Anyway, one of the things that we're going to talk about is the spot price situation with silver and gold. A lot of people within the stacking community, people looking to get into precious metals, are seeing what silver and gold have been doing, and they have been on the decline pretty steadily over the last, month or so, give or take. Now, a lot of us who have been doing this for quite some time, we know that it is the long game that we are playing. This isn't a get-rich-quick type of scenario. You don't just buy gold and silver, hope that it shoots the moon within, a few weeks of buying it, and then you sell it for a profit. If you're looking to do something like that, you're better off getting into something like cryptos or stocks, etc. But this is a long-term type of savings, if you will. But one of the things that a lot of people do incorrectly, and I've talked about this before, is that when spot starts to drop the way that it has, a lot of people start selling their precious metals, and they should actually be buying at this time. So we're going to talk to Steve about this. We're going to see what his thoughts are on where spot may be going. Again, nobody has a crystal ball, so we don't know for sure, right? But we're going to find out what his thoughts are, what he's seeing people do with their buying patterns at the coin shop, what he thinks people should be doing when it comes to stacking silver and gold. And I said on my way over here, no more donuts.
No, I'm done with donuts for a while, man. The old fat guy's got to trim down a little.
You're cutting down.
Yeah.
I can still get you coffee, though.
You can give me coffee.
Well, I knew you were going to be here. We set the time for 11 o'clock. I showed up at 10:30 thinking I would just have a couple minutes to myself in the parking lot. I saw you were in here, so I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go in.
Yeah, I got in here early this morning. I was a little earlier than anticipated, but whatever.
You got to do it.
Yep.
You got to do it.
Yep.
So, I know your favorite topic. We're going to talk about something here that's on a lot of people's minds.
No.
And I'm not asking you to make predictions, but I want to talk about spot prices.
Yeah, no predictions.
No predictions.
Every time I think that it's going to do something, it does exactly the opposite.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And the thing, and I've said it so many times, people make predictions 9 out of 10 times, even more than that. They're always wrong.
Yep.
And then when they are right, they just like, see, I told you.
Yeah, well, listen, they say even a blind squirrel finds a nut now and then,
Broken clock is right twice a day.
That's twice a day. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But here's the thing, all right? Buying patterns. I'm curious as to what you have been seeing with your regular crowd, and when you're seeing a drop in spot like this, are you seeing an uptick? Are you seeing people being skittish and scared and weary of it? Like what are your thoughts? What are you
So
seeing?
you see a little bit of everything, to be honest with you, right? So in my opinion, now would be a good time to jump in, right?
Mm-hmm.
The big pullback in price, unexpected, to be honest with you. And people it shakes everybody up. So people get a little nervous. They don't buy. This is when you should buy. It seems like when the price goes way up and it's trending up, everybody wants to get on board and get on.
Yeah.
It's not logical.
Right.
It really isn't logical. So I do have your savvy people who see the price pullbacks and they jump in, and I applaud that. It's that's the right way to do it, in my opinion. I mean, if you're an investor, of course you want to buy on the dips and sell on the highs, right? But it's really weird how the psyche works with people. I don't know if it's just people lose confidence in it and say, no, I can't sell now because I'm going to be at a loss. Or, you should be thinking about buying more.
Yeah.
Cost average down, possibly. Mm-hmm. So I think I may have mentioned this on earlier videos, but at one point in time, we were selling a lot of Silver Eagles at this one little spot in time. And I actually dipped into my personal stash. And on each one of the tubes, I write the price and when I bought those coins for my kids or myself, whatever have you. And I was looking back and I have tubes of Eagles that I bought for under $300.
Wow. Jeez.
Crazy, right? Even me, I had forgot because they've been in there for such a while. But that goes to show you, you know, over time, these things are going to continue to go up. They have, they always will. I believe that trend has continued to go. It's going to go up, particularly as the dollar buys less. You know, it's going to go up naturally.
Yeah.
I think even with just inflation, which is better than you're going to do with money sitting in the bank today. So.
Yeah, and a lot of people, you know, what it is too is, like you said, with the psyche of people who are buying precious metals, you do have the fear of missing out. So when you've got media coverage and just, you know, you see an uptick in videos on YouTube, if like metals are taking off, then you have the people who are like, oh, I need to get in now. I'm going to miss the boat on this. And then, and let's pause this so you can take your call there, bud. So you get the fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Then, you know, there are people who get scared when they've put in all this money. Let's say, what did gold hit? Like 2,000 something? I forget.
I think it just ticked over 2,000 briefly.
And then silver got up to almost 30, right? Or
yeah,
did
it actually did hit 30
hit
for
30.
again. It was just a quick little
and then just
peak,
quickly
and then
retreated.
it pulled back down. But you know what? It hung up in them high 20s for quite a while.
Well, right. So you have those people who were getting in because of the fear of missing out. They were getting in at those points. Now they're seeing metals pull back, and now they're like, "Oh crap!"
Yeah, well, wow, yeah, I bought all my metals really
Yeah.
high, but you know, again, my thought is, hey, cost average down, right?
Exactly.
So jump back in again and buy some of the cheaper stuff and average your whole price down. It makes a lot of sense to me, but it takes. Listen, once you get burned once, it's hard to step back into that fire again, you know, and I completely understand. Even as a dealer, sometimes I struggle with when to pull the trigger to buy, you know, like, should I just wait? Is there a pullback coming? I mean, I always try to stay on top of it as much as I can, but, you know, who knows, you know?
It's very tricky.
It really
from
is.
that perspective. Like, forget the stacker who's just buying it for themselves, keeping it for their, you know, their stack for their long-term savings. But when you look at that other aspect, what you and I do with the buying and selling, you know, it is a very tricky game to play, because now you and I still needed to buy silver and gold and have it available for people at those higher prices. But now we're seeing that pullback. And
It did. Listen, I bought gold and silver when it was up high, and then it pulled back tremendously and real quick. So, I mean, listen, I was upside down in some of my metals.
Yes.
As being a dealer, that's part of life.
Yeah.
You know, you have to, you know, as a dealer, it's different for me, right? Because I'm always trading, right? So I buy the metals and I sell. Sometimes I have to sell at a loss, but I still don't hesitate to sell. I still sell.
Yeah.
Even though I'm losing money on it, because I'm going to reposition that money at the cheaper levels. Sooner or later, the market's going to work in my favor, and it's going to run back up again. And on that run back up, that means I've already positioned down at the bottom, and it's going to run back up. I'm going to remake that money that I've lost.
Yeah.
So in the long run, as a dealer, it works okay for me. But as somebody who's just stacking casually or thinking about an investment for the future, you know, remember, the metals is a long-term game. It's not something that, it's a difficult game to get into and make money quickly on. It's not, that's dangerous. It's not something I recommend.
Yeah.
I always preach the one thing. It's a preservation of wealth. It really is, because, you know, again, when I was a kid or I just got out of high school, I could have bought silver for $4 or $5 an ounce.
Isn't that nuts?
It's crazy, man. I remember buying gold at $1,000 an ounce, and I was like, man, you know, I hope I'm not getting, you know, it was had just been in the 800s, you know, and I went to 1,000 and I bought, and I'm like, man, and you know what? Yeah, it dipped back down for a while, but then look at it now. It's never. I just don't see it ever seeing $1,000.
No, it's. I mean, I'm no expert, so I don't know what it would take for gold to retreat back that far to lose half of its value. Right.
Yeah,
now.
I have clients that come in here that were buying gold at $300 an ounce. You know. Now that they're selling complete rolls, you know, I mean, but they're retired, you know, so it was a long-term investment, and they've done very well. And traditionally, it has done very well over time.
Yeah, I mean, that's why people keep buying the stuff. That's why I'll keep buying it, you know.
Yeah,
and
but that's from the investment point of view.
Yeah, and going back to your point with the, you know, dealer side of things, you know, and you said like some of the metals you were upside down with, you sold some of it at a loss, but you have to keep that money moving. You're actually not really necessarily losing per se. You're almost, because you're then buying at the low, so you're really also kind of like dollar cost averaging down.
Of course, yeah. And even if I'm sitting on some, right, that doesn't mean that because when I buy, it doesn't mean that I'm out. It just means that I'm getting down lower than I like to be.
Yeah.
So right, I'm just cost averaging down usually. You know, and I think the one thing that a lot of people tend to forget is that they think that they need to come in with a large sum of money to buy metals.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with coming in and buying 4 or 5 ounces. You don't need, I mean, of silver. I'm not
Right,
gold.
right.
You know, buy whatever you can. The gold is, listen, in my opinion, is it's whatever you can afford to buy. Buy what you can, you know, and don't be afraid to buy a little bit here, a little bit there, and buy over time.
Slow and steady wins the race. Look,
Definitely does.
You and I know I have a big purchase that I'm looking to be making, and you know, to free up some funds a little bit faster, I grabbed 4 gold coins, came over here, Steve.
Yeah.
Help me out here. What do you got for me? And just bought the coins right away. But the point is, like, when I put everything out on the table, I'm looking at it. There's no way in hell I could have accumulated all of that in one fell swoop.
Listen,
it
even
takes
with me,
time.
I've been buying metals for myself personally for 15 years, 20 years.
Yeah.
My pile has gotten significant now but I've been buying for many years.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I remember buying when I was like, man, I hope I'm not making a mistake. That was a lot of money. $1,100, $1,000 was a lot of money for me. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, but I put it out, and we're doing very well now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess the takeaway from all this is, people need to, if they're getting into silver and gold, they really have to be ready that it is just a long-term savings account. They really can't get too hung up on the spot price. It's going to fluctuate. You and I have had these discussions so many times before, peaks and valleys, and it's really like stay the course, keep buying, and in the end, like you said, dollar cost average, it'll work
what does your
itself out.
financial advisor say when you go to talk to your financial advisor, right? And you're making your investments. They always say, listen, it's a long-term trend. Usually they show you like a 10 or 20-year chart.
Right.
Even with your 401k or anything like that, they always try to encourage you to look at it on the long run.
Yeah.
And how many times I know that I've been told, don't even look at it. It's not a day trade thing. It's
Right.
something that you don't waste time looking at. Just invest the money, trust in the market, and let it go. And that's what it's been, and it's been very good for everybody.
And it's actually a lot better for like mental health, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
because
no
I
doubt.
remember like I would be checking
No doubt.
my crypto prices and my stocks and everything, and with the metals, I'm a lot more disciplined. I can put it aside. I don't get hung up on the spot prices, and it's a much better way to be. But
And diversify, right? So I
Absolutely.
mean, really, I don't to take your entire portfolio and put it into the metals. Well, that would be radical.
Yeah.
So think about it that way too. It's a part of your portfolio. So think about it as your investments, as your 401k or your savings or whatever have you. It's just one part of it. So don't go too tied up on it. Don't get crazy over it. One thing I can assure you is that over the long run, it's always done well. It always trends in an upward direction.
yeah.
No doubt.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, buddy, I appreciate the time. I
Yep.
might break the rules and bring you a donut on the next one anyway,
Yeah, right.
just because. So I'll see you probably next week.
Be good.
And I would like to quickly thank these elite channel supporters. And if you haven't already become a channel member, please check out the awesome perks and join today. With that, this is Empire Precious Metals. Until next time, long live the Empire.